tomar agua. Let's improvise that we fucking know how to. Family, family. I'll be there in a second. The free movement, nice. Ready. What's going on, family? So, I woke up 1 hour ago, and the reason is why, because me and Fabian have been working really hard to get the most amount of bonuses and free resources that we can give to you. And because you're here on this webinar, you're actually going to get way more resources than if you are not here. The resources are going to be revealed at the end, and you're going to have 20 minutes at the end to get all the bonuses, and after that, the bonuses are going to be completely gone. But stop for bonuses. We're going to begin with value. I haven't planned the class, but I think I know enough about handstands to talk about handstands. Do you guys want to move first, or do you guys want to learn first? Since I didn't plan the class, I'm open for ideas. If I don't get any ideas, I just start talking. Is there a way that I can see that? We're going to make this as natural as possible. We had some issue with our developer that made us had to do the bonuses ourselves, which are coding and whatnot. And I'm good at handstands, not at coding. What's up, Kalim? What's up, Neko? What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for being here. Difficulties, more than difficulties, we are trying to do in 1 hour what normally you do in a year. But it's cool. This community has always been built in transparency, in complete rawness, I guess, and here we are. I miss you too. Sorry that I haven't been posting so much on YouTube. It's been quite a year, but here we are. Showing up is what really matters. Gabo wearing shorts before GTA 4. GTA 6, GTA 6. The last one I played was like GTA 2. So do you guys want to say what you want to learn, or you guys want to chat about GTA 6? Or learn if that's what everyone wants. I think people already said that. Do you think Saturno could compete? Keep up on YouTube. Is Harry Calisthenics here? Yeah, he's there. My dear brother. My dear brother. Yo, Hampton. Hybrid Calisthenics is one of the best human beings that I know, alongside with Fabian, and alongside with, I'm not gonna say few people because there are amazing people in this world, but there are some that really, really, really cross the mark. Is there any way to unlock fear? Okay, let's begin with a Q&A. So what doubts do you really have about handstands? And is there a way to unlock fear where turning upside down? Okay, so let's begin with that. So the biggest mistake that people do when they do a handstand, when they train handstands in general, is that one, they think it's easy. Second, they think it's hard. The handstand is a very complex skill. We are not meant to be putting our entire weight in our wrists. Our wrists are not designed for that. Our feet are. Now, we've been walking since, depending on when you start walking. I started walking, I did a muscle up when I was 1 year old. I started walking pretty late. I think I always had more control in my hands than I have on my feet. Point being is that we are not designed for this. And people just jump into the handstand. Yes, it's a hard skill. And yes, it's a skill that 100%, if there's one skill that I believe can be learned by absolutely everyone, and I'm talking about isometric skills like L-sit, planche, front lever, I do believe planche can also be learned by everyone. But if there is a skill that everybody can learn, it is going to be the handstand. Now, the handstand, we have, where am I talking about here now? But in a handstand, we have, will you follow me here, brother? Because this is probably one of the most important concepts that you need to understand when training the handstand, which is, okay, for whatever planning I did. We have a spectrum on any skill, on anything that we do in life. Anything that we do in life? I would say so, but let's talk about movements. There are movements that on one side of the spectrum, they require technique. If I spelled it right, obviously not. I didn't spell it right. And on the other side of the spectrum, we have a strength. Now, can anybody tell me what a strength is? I just want to get 2 or 3 answers, if you can read them to me, Fabian, when they say it. Because people really, really confuse this, and really, really confuse this. We're going to have the handstand in orange. I like colors and markers, by the way. We're going to have planche in blue, just for reference. Is anybody knowing what strength is?
Strength is power production.
Power production. Okay, so that means it is a part of strength. Now, what is power? Handstand planche, and here I'm going to be putting a muscle up.
I'm going to say.
Muscle up. One arm chin up, actually. And this one. Any other skills that you guys want to know where in the spectrum this is and how to train for it? But no, this is a handstand thing. What are you saying?
So one of them said strength is the capacity to hold it up, and technique is the alignment question mark.
Strength is the capacity to hold it up, and technique is?
The alignment question mark.
Okay, we're going to be talking about alignment later on, and we're going to be building literally a house on how you should actually train your handstand and the little components that actually make a handstand. You do need a strength, you do need technique, you do need balance, but all these terminologies confuses the fuck out of us. And I am a person who is in love with linguistics, and I do believe words have a lot of meaning, but without context, we cannot, like context is a modulator of knowledge. If you don't have context, if you're talking to somebody, your significant other, and you guys are talking about, okay, let's respect each other. Respect, it's a word that, I don't know, but I would say that everybody has a different definition of respect. Like for me, somebody disrespectful would be coming up here and screaming at me. For other people, disrespect would be just looking down instead of looking at their eyes. So before you have a conversation with somebody, we have to define the words. And that does apply to life. Now, for training, it does apply way too much. Yes, we have textbooks. Yes, we have a lot of things. But we have a lot of things mainly on strength training, mainly on hypertrophy training. And even then, people get confused, even the guys that actually do the studies. So, what was the word that he said? Technique is alignment. OK. So we're going to define a strength. How can we define a strength? It will take me like probably 5 days to cover a strength. Why? Because there is not only one type of strength. There are many, many types of strength. Like, you guys probably know the 8 ones, the most common ones: relative strength, explosive strength, maximum strength, isometric strength. There are many ways of actually building strength. We're going to be keeping it super, super simple. And we're going to tie strength to technique. Because what the hell is technique? Just think about it. If we go back into when people used to do handstands, the handstand would look something like, don't judge my drawing. That's the head. Where are the hands? The hands are here. It used to be like, actually, let me demonstrate that. I'm better at handstands than I am at drawing. So before, first handstand of the day, by the way, always sucks. Before, this was the shape, and it was considered literally the standard. It was supposedly more efficient, which in a way it kind of is. And that's it. Like, this is how, like, if you do this before, that would be considered actually wrong. So technique, that's one of the words, actually, that it is defined by the brain of the person that is defining the technique, the word. So we're going to define technique after we tie it with the strength. And it's really not a definition that I can come up with technique more than doing a particular exercise in a way that matches your definition of technique. Now, in handstands, because we're humans, because we like to agree on things, because we like to put things in a box, and if most people agree, then they are like, OK, that's what a true handstand should look like. So a true handstand today, in the world of today, involves several components. So you saw that arching at the back right there? So that was the handstand before. Shoulders, this is shoulder flexion, raising your arm overhead. Shoulders were slightly closed, kind of like a planche. You would use more of your pectoral muscles, and you would slightly extend, or as much as you need to, extend your upper back and even lower back. As much as you need to would depend on where your shoulders are. Now, that is still something that happens when people try to get the straight handstand, like they really want to get the straight handstand, but their shoulders do not open. Let's say they're here. Imagine this is the floor. There is only one way that I can balance. I cannot do this. I mean, I can try to do this, but that would be a very inefficient position. So my only way would be to arch my spine. And that's what I do, and that's what ends up into a banana handstand, because if this is the floor and I need to balance, the only way is doing this. So what do? We do not train handstands until our shoulders are completely open. If you guys know me, you guys know that that's a lie. I don't talk in absolutes. And there is no reason. That's one of the myths of handstands. So myth number 1 of handstands. You need to have fully open shoulders in order to actually start training your handstands. That is false. Now, if you go to me and your shoulders are here, literally here, like Fabian. Sorry, bro. No, I'm kidding. No, his handstand is actually right now here. Like Fabian 2 years ago, but he used to planche. Because too many planches, which is a good point, which I'm gonna get into it. Planches kind of like fight with handstands in a way and changes the handstand shape. Now, if I get a client and her hands are here, and he tells me, I wanna start training handstand, I'm gonna be doing two things. First of all, 80% of that work is gonna be done in mobility work. Why? Because as you open your shoulders, the handstand changes in such a way that I would even put a different name to every single position of the handstand. Here, 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 here. Why? Because it feels and it is completely a different skill. Let's go to both extremes. Close shoulders, planching. I couldn't do that before. Okay, so this is a position that your body will get used to it. And yes, you can work on shoulder mobility here as you're opening your shoulders, but then once you get here, that is a complete different handstand shape and a handstand feeling. So the argument that people use when they say, do not train your handstands until you open your shoulders, it's because you're gonna have to supposedly, in a way you do, I'm gonna explain, readapt to a different skill. Now, it's not that dramatic, and that would only happen if you just do the handstand or you just open your shoulders, do the handstand, but do not combine the two. So what is my take? If your shoulders are here, you're gonna be doing 80% work on shoulder mobility, but you're still going to be doing handstand work. Now, handstand work doesn't mean freestanding handstand. Handstand work just means what every technical skill, we're gonna go back to that, requires, which is spending time in the position. There is one rule of life. To get good at anything, you spend time doing that thing. If you spend time doing the wrong thing, in this case, the wrong technique, and you don't do anything, you don't open your shoulders, you don't do anything, you're going to stay there. That was me. I kept my shoulders closed until I said, oh, I need to open my shoulders. Because your shoulder mobility sometimes might be a lack of actual muscle tightness pulling you down, lats, upper chest, pulling the shoulder down into extension. But it could also be just a matter of awareness, of really literally, it is not super efficient, that's another thing, to be fully stuck. What's efficiency? Efficiency is being able to actually maintain a position with the least amount of effort. A perfectly straight handstand, it is not efficient. This is a straight handstand, but if you really like textbook freaking handstand, you do this and then you push the hips forward. That is really not an efficient handstand. It actually changes the weight from here to here when you actually do the super straight handstand. So if you see even professional hand balancers, all my coaches, which I've had more than 5 coaches, circus coaches, Cirque du Soleil coaches, there is a training handstand and there is a Instagram handstand. Going back to the mobility, if you guys want me to extend on any of the particular millions of topics that I've been talking because I just woke up and I'm talking in circles, please just let me know, and Fabian let me know if they want to dive deep into something or if they didn't get something very specific. So you want to train your handstands and your shoulders are slightly closed. It's very hard. I found very few people here. Normally they are here. And they're all discouraged and they're like, okay, this coach told me that I should open my shoulders before doing handstands. No. You do shoulder mobility exercises that open your shoulders. If you guys wanna know some, let me know, but that will take me another hour. but you still put yourself in the position of the handstand. How do we start? So we are in our hands, right? This is a problem not only with handstand, but with calisthenics. And I'm going to explain. You could be super strong. You could be doing bodybuilding. When I started calisthenics 10 years ago, I had like 10 more pounds of muscle on me. I got my muscle up on my first day. I got a back lever on my first day. I got the LC2 handstand in like about 2 weeks. Everything was fine. And then I got injured left and right for 7 years, everywhere. My wrist, lat tear, shoulder dislocations. You have no idea how much I couldn't do this with I couldn't be in this position for an entire year. If you scroll down in my Instagram, 2,500 posts, you'll find that on a certain period, I was just literally just using parallels for my handstands. Little tip, if your wrist hurts, use parallels, get upside down. So the problem with calisthenics is that we do not understand that the body is not meant for these positions. The body, it is not meant to be here. The body, it is not meant to go into a push-up. The body is definitely not meant to go, can I do a planche on the floor today? Yes. The body is not meant to do all that. Not your scapula, not your shoulders, especially not your elbows, and especially not your wrist. So you train handstands. And you may even ask, like, let's go even harder for a planche. Can a beginner train the planche? Yes. But are you going to do planche attempts? Are you going to do banded planche attempts? No. This is training planche. This is training planche. Even this, it is training planche. So that is why joint preparation, which pretty much is exposing yourself to a position easy enough that you can accumulate enough time for your tendons to adapt. So eventually, once you build to that position, then you do not get injured. I am currently 33, holy crap. How old is everybody? How old are you guys? I want to know who I'm speaking to. And I haven't gotten injured in 5 years. Even this year where I have slept probably 6 hours every night if I get lucky. And that's because life hit me hard, but I don't like to say or see it that way, even though it is true. I say life influenced me in such a way that my capacity, ownership, that's one of the core values of our company and the core values of my life. I couldn't just manage that. But the point is that even sleeping bad, even with an insane amount of things, an insane amount of stress, business partner leaving, having to run the entire company, learning finances, learning accounting, learning like the stress levels of this year was absolutely insane. I haven't gotten injured, and I got the strongest I've ever been. I got my full planche, I got my full front lever, I got a full planche press, I got all that. Why? Because I didn't sleep and because I trained like super bad this year. Not really, but those two things are real. But the real reason why I got the planche and I haven't gotten injured, the real reason why I'm still progressing and I haven't gotten injured, it's because prior to that, first bonus release, if you say on the webinar, this is 3 years of training that are going to be sent to you after we scan every single page and we send it to you. But if you stay on the webinar until the end, this is one of the bonuses. You're going to be, and just by the way. And this is also a tip for you guys. This is also a tip for you guys to do this. Thank me later, please. I didn't do this before. That's how it looks. You put your exercises, You put your sets, and you log it in. If you're in our app, we did this for you. Front 3 and scapula. I put my weight, how much I weigh, because that influences it. Every single rep, middle split, front 1, front lever, exhausted, like today, planche, front lever. That was when I was training the two of them. Then I think I got demotivated here. Oh, this is the last one, actually. Yeah. July 2025. That's when I stopped logging my things. Actually, April 2026. So that is one of the bonuses. Where was I before the the training log? Yeah. So your body, it's an amazing adaptable machine. I really thought I would never get a planche, especially because of my condition with my scapula. I couldn't do a push-up without winging. I had 40 plus dislocations of both of my shoulders. It would dislocate during night, like nighttime. I am extremely weak in pulling because of my lat insertions. If I stop doing pull-ups for like 3 days, I lose my front lever. Or if I stop doing front levers for like 3 days, I literally lose my front lever. That's also because I haven't trained it that much. But still, it's a skill that it's so hard for me to maintain. Fabian can go years without training front lever, and he just get it. I can go 2 weeks without training planche, and I get it. Why? Because my body's more designed for the planche than it is for the front lever, because I spent 3 years conditioning my scapula, which all that scapula conditioning, it is also there as well. Why do we log things, and how does that tie into starting your journey here on a simple plank? Because you don't see a bodybuilder going to the gym and starting with a barbell alone, and then the next day he just put 45 pounds. That will get him injured. And that's why people are like, no, calisthenics is more injurious, or strength training is more injurious, or whatever it is more injurious. No, the only thing that is more injurious is going from 0 to 100 or from 0 to 5 without actually going from the 2 and to the 3 and to the 4. Now, I'm not saying that you should spend a whole year doing planche leans before you actually go into planche attempts. I did 2 years of that, by the way. So you can do it. But my mindset has shifted a little bit between that and intensity, especially for strength skills, which we're going to get more, that are more in this spectrum than the handstand. But the principle still applies. You do not do one day, and that's why most programs fail. That's why 99% of calisthenics athletes are injured, and that is a data from Trust Me Bro. But I do believe 99.999% of calisthenics athletes have some type of injury. Injuries are normal. I'm not saying that by doing this, you're actually going to avoid injuries. Actually, you avoid injuries more by sleeping more. But take your time with the handstand. Do not make it boring either, and I'm going to tell you how to make it fun, but be gradually exposing yourself like you're literally building like a little house, which we're going to build right now. Because otherwise, 1 year without training handstands because your wrist hurts, you just go back. Shortcuts, by definitions, are short-lived. Whatever you try to just go faster, you are going to eventually have to go back. We've been going so hard, Fabian and I, that I think we need like 5 months in the Bahamas, at the very least, to just go back to baseline. A handstand, it is simply putting weight on your hands and being able to balance. A planche is simply putting weight on your hands while being in a horizontal line. There is pressure that is being put in your wrist, in your elbows, in your shoulders, in your neck, that's it, in your spine. Your spine, not really, because there is no force translation, and I'm talking about like lower spine and whatnot. There's no really force translation happening through that vector line, physics. But there is pressure in this side in these joints specifically. And they're weak. Like joints are really not strong, and tendons are really not that they're not strong, but they take longer to develop. Point being, spend some time here, especially if you're a beginner. You want to know, if I can find the first one, advance. Advance. 2022. Okay, here we go. Still advanced. 2021 was actually a little bit more less advanced. No, I was freaking strong here. Okay, tuck plunge, dragon flags, handstand push-ups, because I am just really good at handstand push-ups. Pull-ups, dips, rows, ring push-ups. This is on March 14, 2022. I am 100% sure that if I just go half the book, I'm probably doing almost the same exercises of this. Look at this, and I didn't see what happens. There we go. Completely different stuff. Thank you. Planche practice, LC to inverted hand, weighted dips, weighted chin-ups, handstand push-ups again, ring rows again. If I go here, tuck planche, dragon flags, handstand push-ups, military, chin-ups, some form of push-ups. We're talking about already months away. Let's go to the end of the year. Planche leans, tuck planche, hollow push-ups, back to wall handstand push-ups, ring dips, ring push-ups, elbow plank. I repeated the same movements in a different variation for 3 years. A handstand, it is. Do you guys want to know more about handstands or about programming in general? Like, do you guys want me to laser focus completely on the handstand? By the way, we're releasing the new hand balancing system on Monday, if we get to edit 21 videos, which we will. Or if you guys want to know more about programming, because everything is kind of like related to each other. But the point is that you expose yourself to a position that you can manage, that yes, it is hard, but it's not so hard that you cannot even repeat it like 3 days after that, especially when we're starting out. People really think that a plank, it's a beginner position. It is, in a way. Words. How do you define beginner? I don't know. Somebody that has never trained, yes, they can do a plank. Okay. Do you really think that having protracted scapulas, depressed scapulas, elbows back, posterior pelvic tilt, hips down, slightly open chest if you're doing push-ups, slightly more neutral chest if you're training for planche, not bending at all the elbows, not shrugging here, but literally keeping it down, but not so much that your scapula wings and that you lose the protraction. The hips are not up. Your quads, trust me. Planks, if done right, your quads get more sore than your hands, at least at the beginning. But because you guys have never done planks, unless you have watched my videos long enough and know my philosophy of training, you just probably never did planks and just try to do just planche leans right away, and you're probably injured. Making no assumptions, but that is what I've seen in literally 99% of the clients that I train and 99% of the people that I talk to. And I don't know why I'm saying 99%. I guess that's a number that sells. I started 3 years ago my journey again in this position, holding it for 45 seconds, then 60 seconds. And I felt like an idiot doing this. Now, what did that do? I'm 33, I haven't got an injury in 5 years. From 20 to 30, I got injured everywhere. I never got the planche. My handstand, far from what it is right now. My front lever, I tried so much, never got it. Yes, there was something on programming that I was not doing right, but I mean, this is programming. I got the planche, actually. With a super broken scapula, with my hips up, and with a bad technique for the people. In that moment, it was actually a really good technique. Or people didn't know about technique. And that shape, for me in particular, caused me to get injured. Why? Because the planche, if you don't have the support structure to actually, on your torso, scapula, serratus, middle traps, lower traps, and your shoulders, front delts, to actually, even the biceps, to be able to hold that position, what's your body going to do? Okay, I don't have enough muscle, I don't have enough structure to support this position, I'm gonna go to the passive structures. What are the passive structures? Your joints. So, because my scapula was not supporting me, because my biceps were not strong enough, because I didn't spend enough time conditioning my joints, what happened? All the pressure was here, all the pressure was here, and I got injured again, left and right, and that's when I got my lat tear. And I was training planches 3 times a week, doing a lot more volume than what I did to get my planche right now. Then I realized that, okay, let me actually work smarter. I started here. We're gonna get to the handstand now. People want handstand or planche? Quadruped, you condition your scapula. You teach your body that this is a safe position. And if you are practicing, if you thought that this was gonna be a practice because we didn't even know what we were gonna teach, just get into this position, protract fully your scapula, depress your shoulders, arms straight, elbows back, make sure that your hips are right over your knees. Make sure that you are not extending your neck slide too much or you're flexing it too much, just keep it neutral. And just hold it there. And you just tell me if you can be like a stick for 60 seconds. It is harder than you think. Now, if you have been doing planches, if you're advanced, you might find that it's easy, but it's hard to actually replicate the technique. Why do we want that technique? Because we want the planche to look nice, but also because if I am also like right here, and then, okay, I'm ready for the planche, and then I go to the planche, and then I'm ready for the planche in, and I do this. You might not get injured, but you know how much it's gonna take your body to relearn this now that you are supposedly doing planche leans? A lot of time. So you are better off. This is a tip for absolutely everything. Does it apply to life? It does apply to life. It takes the same amount of effort to fucking do this than to do this. Honestly, it takes the same amount of attention. So you just better do it right. Let me define right. A position that it's gonna lead to a shape that I like more shape than technique. I'm gonna speak about that. That you desire at the end. I want my planche to have arms straight and I want my planche to have protracted scapula. So if I start training my planche with bent arms and with broken scapula, guess what's gonna happen when I get to the full planche? Probably get injured. But if I don't get injured, I'm just gonna have that. And changing that, you have 2 options. You start extending the arms, you start protracting the scapula on the planche, and then you're probably gonna get injured because your elbows are not ready for that. Or most likely or not, you just go back. Or you are one of the lucky motherfuckers that actually Mostly get injured in the way, but they get it, and eventually it's fixed. But for most of us human beings that are normal human beings, I do have fragile. I'm not meant for calisthenics, by the way. Like, my body's not designed for calisthenics. My hands are super small. For handstands, my complete structure is really not meant for calisthenics. My joints itself, they're very fragile, and my tendons as well. That is most people, especially if you're after 30s, especially if you haven't trained before, especially if you do not have a background before starting calisthenics. I guess I'm drilling this home because it's my entire philosophy. Take your time with the movements and do them in a way, feel like you're actually building like a little Lego. Let's build the Lego of the planche first, just because we're in that position. And then we're gonna build the Lego of the handstand. Do we have parallels? Because I'm definitely not doing a planche on the floor. But I do want to prove a point with it. Just start here. How much? It's on my training logs, but I was doing like around 15 sets a week of this. Yes, that's what is required for normal people to get a clean planche. Then you go here, and you extend your quads. So the point that I wanted to make that it applies to life is that if you're always here, your body's just gonna remember that. So you're just better off doing this. Will that change how much strength you develop on your upper body and in your planche? No. But why wouldn't you do it? When, like, people tell me, oh, you are a gymnast because you're pointing your toes and you look like your movements look so clean. It's because it is not the hard skills that I do clean. It is every single movement clean, another word. I do it with that intention, and your body remembers that. Seated leg lift, if you're always doing this, your body's gonna remember bent legs. If you're just doing a forward fold, like you're just stretching your hamstrings, yeah, there is a way to stretch your hamstrings here and then do this. Let me give a better example. If you're doing tuck-ups, and this is perfectly well done, but then you do this. Will that change really your abs and compression strength because one leg is opposite the other one? Not really. Will that make your body imbalance and then you're gonna have to surgery because of one hip is turned around? No, not really. But the precision, if you guys want clean movements, whatever that means for you, every exercise, on that exercise, pointing my toes will make a difference in the goal of the exercise, which is developing compression strength. Not really, but pointing my toes in that exercise, and on every single exercise that doesn't even require to point my toes, allows my brain, which is part of a strength, to actually do it naturally. Like, I cannot not point my toes. I cannot not have my legs straight. I cannot not have my elbows straight unless I'm really tired and doing planche push-ups with Fabian. So do the movements, the two things that I'm gonna drill home now. Do the movements in a progressive manner, properly. Spend enough time before you move on to the next one. And focus on the micro details. Do not obsess over them. That creates anxiety. I heard once that anxiety speaks in questions and intuition speaks in statements. So if you are doing a plank and you're like, should I keep my elbows bent? Should I actually lean more? That is anxiety. Don't do that. Instead goes into, I will keep my elbows straight. I will keep this. I'm noticing this. That is going to signal your brain that you're safe. It's not going to create that much anxiety, and you're actually going to enjoy your training, which is one of the pillars of the house for the handstand. That was a bit too philosophical, but Let's build a house. Quadruped. Get used to protecting your scapula, both for handstand, both for planche, both for absolutely everything except front lever, which is a slight retraction, full retraction, depending on who you're talking to. If you want to know my take, you can ask. This is already a lot of pressure on the wrist. People do not do this. We are not on the floor. We do not spend enough time on the floor, and then just people try to do a handstand, and then they wonder why they get injured. Yes, you might get it, but eventually you're gonna get injured. Eventually, you might get injured. I hate absolutes. After you're in a plank, I like to point my toes in a plank. I don't know if you guys can see there, but why? Because I'm stretching my toes as I'm doing that, first of all. Second of all, I'm teaching my body, where do I want to go with the plank? To a planche, right? So I'm gonna just do that from the very beginning. There are moments not to do that, but you can see that on my training logs and on my notes. After that, we begin to lean. Now, we don't lean like a full planche lean right away. We go inch by inch by inch, and we spend time there. Some people might be able to go faster, other people might not, and it depends on your specific limitations. That is why on the SM Academy, I don't give you a program, and that's why every program, every workout has like 1 hour explanation, because you need to train according to you. You need to train according to your goals. There is nothing harder than actually making a program for the masses that actually works for the masses. The only way is to give enough context so they know how to apply it to themselves. Yes, I know that sucks. Yes, I know that doesn't sell. Yes, I know people just want to do the exercise. And yes, in our app, you don't have to watch the 1 hour video. You can just do the exercises and that's it. But I do explain, and especially with handstands, if a client has closed shoulders, but it's amazing imbalance, and the other one has amazing shoulder flexibility, but he has like zero control over her legs, the training is going to be different. If I get a bodybuilder and then I get a yogi and none of them has a handstand, I'm gonna train them completely different because they require different attributes. The only commonality between these two is going to be spending time in the position. I'm saying so many topics, then I lose the whole thing. After you do the planche lean, then obviously you can get into the tuck planche, advanced tuck planche, then you do dynamic movements, presses, whatnot. You do a combination of positions that teaches your body to enter the position in different ways. So when you do handstands, you don't only just do chest to wall handstands and that's it. You do different positions that train different attributes. One, to keep training fun so you don't get fucking bored as fuck. And second, to teach your brain, let's go back to the board now, and then we go back here. Did anybody hit what strength is? So to keep it super simple, the formula for a strength. One strength, which is called muscle strength. It is defined by the amount of cross-sectional areas that you have in your muscles and the motor units that can target that. But to keep it super simple, muscle mass. Hypertrophy. If we want to get really fancy, it is not the size of the muscle itself, but the architecture of the muscle itself. The architecture is how it changes in attachments to the tendons and ligaments, the shape that it gets. Don't quote me that, muscles doesn't change shape, but it changes the attachments of the tendons in a way that creates different muscle fibers and different motor units that make the muscle have more more things to work with, just to keep it that way. And I say that because you don't want that size, it is not the goal. Yes, your muscle is going to grow, but it's more about the architecture of the muscle. We multiply that by something called neural drive. We are just going to call it your brain. That's a strength. The amount of muscle that you have, the amount of the ability of your nervous system to fire up those muscle fibers. We actually have 4, which is the frequency. How fast does it send signals to the muscle fibers to activate? We have the volume, how many muscle fibers can actually your brain activate. We have the speed on how fast it actually changes from one muscle fiber to the other one. And then we have the synthesis of, okay, I'll just keep it here. Your brain sends signals, your CNS, for simplicity of it, central nervous system, sends signal to your muscles to activate and produce a strength, which is pretty much, just to keep it super simple, our ability to just lift an object or move something. This is a strength. Now, if you think about it, that's probably the best example. It is so light, but I need to have my brain. Muscles enough, unless somebody grabs me and do this, will not be enough. So we need neural adaptations, which is more on the technique side of the graph. And then we do not need muscle as much as people think. It's kind of a balance. Have you seen those power lifters that are super skinny and they can just move a lot of weight? That is because their central nervous system, it is super strong. Their ability for their brain to conduct energy and signals to their muscles, it is so big that they do not need muscle. Now, if this person right here would do some hypertrophy training, 100%, is Hampton still here? Because he just did a video about that. He said, like, imagine you have chicken breast on your shoulders and you just want to put more chicken breast. A bigger muscle, it's almost a stronger muscle, provided this remains the same. When you're a beginner, 90% of the adaptations, around that, no, it's not 99, happens here. That's why you progress so fast. Now, once you get advanced, you find yourself like, damn, I do not progress. How do I go from a talk to an advanced talk? It doesn't seem to happen. I have a negative handstand push-up, but I cannot do a full handstand push-up. I'm stuck in 2 handstand push-ups. Okay, bro, stop doing 2 handstand push-ups because 2 reps doesn't really build that much muscle, and start doing elevated type push-ups or an exercise that puts you in a range that actually builds more muscle, because you're gonna get bigger shoulders, and that bigger shoulders, with the potential of your brain, now you're gonna be able to actually do 15 plus handstand push-ups. I just gave you the entire formula for calisthenics in one fucking sentence. That was not a sentence, that was a paragraph. Let's go up. As you become more advanced, muscle becomes more important. Becomes more important the more a skill is on this side of the spectrum. So, a strength, it is pretty much technique in a way, but we are going to change now the word technique for neurological drive. We're gonna keep it technique, but now so you understand technique is your ability of your brain to coordinate your body, pretty much. One arm chin up. one-arm chin-up is a movement that, yes, you do require some technique. Your body needs to like kind of coordinate somehow. But really, bro, just grab the bar and pull yourself up. What's the worst that could happen? That your legs kind of swing up. That's just a deficit of strength or not aware enough. But this movement right here, it's sitting around here. That means that you do not grab a band, a light band, and you just, I'm practicing my narrow drive frequency synchronization that Gabo told me, because that's how I'm gonna learn the handstand push-up. No, bro, you just fucking train hard, do weighted pull-ups, do negative is a controversial thing for me. And you get strong enough, mainly from building a lot of muscle, and your brain obviously coordinates, but not the type of coordination that we're gonna be talking about here on the handstand, but more so the one that we talk about here, which is firing up those big biceps. Very, 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 very hard to find somebody. I mean, one-arm chin-up, I've seen it, pass, you're a fucking beast. But most people that has a one-arm chin-up, a muscle-up, or a planche, let's see where each of these ones stay on the graph. Muscle-up, I will put it right here. It requires a lot of technique. But if you are strong enough, you can get yourself up at the bar. Planche. Can we make a line like this? Planche is one of those that I would just put it like right here. It is a strength move. You need to produce force, 100%. But if you want it to look pretty, there is a lot going on in the planche, like a lot going on. Like your scapulas are here, your protection is here, your chest is slightly closed, but like not so much. Then your posterior pelvic tilt, if you really want to get to the 20-25 planks, because it's probably going to change later, pushing the hips up, keeping your quads straight, lifting your, like, what? There is a lot of technique involved in that. But if you are not strong enough, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if you can just stand and do that. You need to become strong enough. You need to build enough muscle. That's one thing. Planchers, really good planchers. Planche push-ups, planche presses, not just shitty planches. At least they have big biceps and they have big shoulders. They have to, especially to get to a high level. Now, where is the handstand sitting here? What do you guys think? Handstand is what color? Just like the one on chin. Okay. This marker doesn't work. The handstand sits like around here. Nice, beautiful. The handstand sits like around here. Technique. Do you require strength? Yes. Can you do a handstand if your shoulders are not strong enough? No, of course not. What is the difference on training a skill here than here now? Technique, a skill that has more technique than a strength requirement, is a skill that you can train more often. It's a skill that you should train more often. And it's a skill that you should pay more attention. I mean, you should always pay attention to all the exercises and be focused, but you should really be critical about what you're doing. And not only you do it not every day, but you do it ideally every day once you get to that point and you build up to that. But on the same session, you don't do one handstand exercise. You do a lot of them. That is the difference between a calisthenics handstand, like somebody that does calisthenics and has a handstand, and a hand balancer. For me to get to the level of handstands that I am, it's because I train hand balancing. Hand balancing means that And that's why we're doing the hand balancing system. And we are separating it from calisthenics, even though our calisthenic system does have handstand. And in the hand balancing system is 12 phases, it is 12 planets. I made a specific, it's the whole solar system. The asteroids, which goes around the entire solar system, I made it in such a way, I wish we could have presentations, but that you can just train your handstand hand balancing however you like, but you can go into the calisthenics handstand. What is the calisthenics handstands? You just train it less. You just train it on the parallels. You just train it for the planche. You just train it to do combos. How do people recommend to do handstands in a calisthenics training, including myself in the past? And probably right now, if you tell me I want the planche and I want this and I want that, I would tell you, yeah, practice your handstand 50 minutes if it's not one of your goals. Now, understand that you will not get a clean one-arm handstand with super open shoulders, and that is okay. Name me 5 athletes that has a one-arm handstand with open shoulders, wide straddle, straight legs, and then he can transition into a full planche with protracted scapula and the calisthenics planche. Because the same way that we have a handstand, calisthenics handstands, we also have a planche, a hand balancing planche, which is just like, kind of like a broken scapula and kind of like, just more like more neutral rather than this, that position. Why? Because that's what they do most. First of all, I used to believe they kind of like contradict each other until I was able to now get a straight handstand and get a planche. Handstand like a hand balancer and planche like a calisthenics athlete. I realized that it was because both skills takes so long, so long to get it right on the shape that, on that specific shape that, example, I want, that nobody does it. Or they don't know how to coordinate those skills. They might train both at the same time. They might just not do it in a very systematic way. Our programs teach you how to do it in a systematic way. The handstand, how I got the handstand and how I got the planche, I was training both at the same time, and I stopped progressing. It was too much. How did I got that? I said, you know what? Fuck handstands. Out. Planche. Got the planche. Then fuck planche. Handstands. Now, it's not that you stop doing it, you kind of maintain it, and it depends. And that's how I was able to get flexible, handstand like a hand balancer, ego to the side. This is literally just for me to make a real good point. Handstand like a hand balancer. Planche, yes, I cannot do 20 planche push-ups, but I can do a calisthenics planche, a planche press. And we did a planche push-ups once, just once. Full. What other things we have? I cannot freestyle because of my shoulders was fucked before, but I could freestyle if I wanted to. And what is the other side of calisthenics? We have just weighted calisthenics, strength, pretty much. I was able to do all that because I separated blocks in a way that you get to master every single skill, and then maintaining it is always easy. Now, this obviously gets complicated. This is programming, and it's individual for every person. That is why we have the app. That is why I'm going to reveal it, one of the things. Only, how many people are here? Because I don't want to... Okay, you guys are the motherfuckers that are going to know that I'm writing a book. I'm writing a 700 pages book that is going to be released somewhere with a very good editorial. That was also a source of stress for me. And in that book, I am going to be mapping how to actually get to train for all those skills. Let's see what Gabo writes. Can we turn this around? Yes. Statics. We got planche, front lever, human flag, one-arm pull-up. This should have been the workshop. Handstand push-up, muscle-up, handstand. Then bodybuilding, if you want to build muscle. You do exercises, vertical push, horizontal push, the push-up, vertical. You guys will not understand it, but I'm going to try to explain it. Then vertical push, which is that vertical? Yeah, handstand push-ups, horizontal pull would be rows. If you do that, by the way, you just build muscle. If you just do pull-ups, dips, rows, handstand push-ups, and dips, or any variation of those, there is no freaking way on earth that you don't build muscle unless you're doing it wrong and you're not getting to failure, and that's a different topic. Then we got street lifting, which is the highest competition currently growing, which is it's funny because the biggest competition in calisthenics that is growing, which is street lifting, the 4 exercises is, the first one is a barbell squat. The other one is a muscle-up, weighted muscle-up, a weighted pull-up, and a weighted dip. So the fastest growing competition in the world in calisthenics uses external weight in all 4 exercises. That's why words, we need to have a conversation on what it is calisthenics. Is it bodyweight training? Because if it's bodyweight training, this is not calisthenics. But they're going to call it calisthenics unless they like to change words. Everything is connected and everything is related. And that's how I was able to understand that it is not that you just need to train planche and then you need to train handstand and then you need to train this, because you will not make it unless you start training since you're 11 years old. What do? You realize that let me see if I remember what I did here. You realize that to get a weighted muscle up, if we go back to the other thing, you need strength in certain muscles. You need pulling strength and you need pushing strength. So what do? You do a lot of vertical, this is downward, this is a dip. You do a lot of dips, straight bar dips. You do a lot of, here's another arrow, yes. You do a lot of pull-ups. And guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna get the muscle up. You wanna know a hack for the muscle up? Stop doing freaking muscle ups. Get very good at pulling, get very good at pushing in dips, and then just practice a little bit the muscle up and it will come to you. So what do? I do this, I do that, and then you get the free skills. You get the muscle up for free. Another example would be the human flag. You see here? Levers, human flag. The human flag, it's a skill that it was so hard for me. I never got it, that it was so easy for everybody. And I was like, well, why? Now I have a human flag. Because planche, front lever. So you just train planche, you just train front lever, you get the human flag. So it's about efficiency in your training to minimize the time, because we like to get things fast, but without rushing. More than fast, efficient, and safe. Why would you take longer if you can do the same amount of effort in a smart way? That's what good programming it's for. The handstand push-up. The handstand push-up, you better do push-ups. You better do, you better do handstand push, vertical pushing movements. That's gonna lead to the handstand push-ups. I mean, this one is bodybuilding, this one is mainly for my book, so bear with me. Let me give a better example. The one-arm pull-up. The one-arm pull-up is something that if you do enough pull-ups, if you do enough weighted pull-ups, and muscle-ups, for example, then, no, I'm sorry, this is the other way around. If you get the one-arm pull-up, because of doing a lot of pull-ups, there is no way that you don't have the muscle-up. These dots, what do they mean? 90% of tree transferability. Forget that. Do I have another example? The best example that I can give is also the handstand push-up. Like some people are like, should I train for the handstand push-up or should I train for the planche? Why would you choose in that regard when handstand push-ups build shoulders, bodybuilding, that is going to build strength for the planche? So you train both. You train movements that potentiate the other movements, and we completely deviated from the handstand. Let's go back here. I need to fix this. The handstand is a very technical skill. That means that you need to do a lot of repetitions in the handstand. The calisthenics handstand, or how people train calisthenics, handstand in calisthenics, it is by doing 10, 15 minutes before their practice, and that's it. Why that works? They have a clean handstand on power free, on static competitions. Is it the handstand that you want? Maybe yes, that's it, that's enough, that's okay. If you want a really clean handstand, hand balancers, how do they train? 10 minutes handstand, 15-minute handstands a day, at the beginning maybe. Then if you really want to get, give me a shave, Fabian. Give me a flow. So I'm not, but as I go. No, as I go, just guide me. Let's see how much Fabian knows about shaves. If you guys want to flow, just throw it in there. Go. Because I need to move a little bit. Oh.
Straight arm press.
Okay, but I want you to read whatever they say. I want to transition. So I'm going to do the straight arm press, and then keep just sending.
Actually, ask them to give you
A what?
to give you a flow. Like right the flow.
But I want to do the flow in real time with them. So handstand press. Okay, I'm going to do a handstand press, and then, guys, tell me what's next. Or if nobody says, you say something about it.
Straddle 90-degree push-up.
Come on, bro.
That's what they're saying.
Dude, really? That is, okay, we're talking about handstand technique, not freaking calisthenics, but okay. Yuga, this guy. Okay, that doesn't prove my point, but next one. Pike? What type of pike?
It doesn't even say spike.
Okay, so pike, we can do a floating pike. We can do, let me rest. This is a pike position. Or you probably are meeting a 7, which is this position right here. If you want to get this, you better get a point in your calisthenics career where you train handstands 1 hour, 2 hours a day, every single day. Hand balancers, they train talk 15 minutes, balance 15 minutes, endurance 15 minutes, the new shape that they're trying to do 15 minutes, flexibility 30 minutes. That's what they get so good. I remember the first time that I had a class, I was such a calisthenics bro. I think I'm still there. And it was with Andrew Bondarenko. And he was like, let's warm up. I'm like, okay. 2-minute handstand hold. I'm like, I've never done that. Yeah, but you're really good. You're really strong. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And I got like to 90 seconds or something. Then he was like, okay, rest 1 minute. Now we're gonna go into 20 tuck ups. I'm like, dude, I have a tuck. Okay, 10. I'm like, dude, I'll try. I did 5 and 4. Handstands This is a secret for handstands, right here. Because handstands require so much repetition and so much volume. When I started really training handstands, my warm-up was that. 2 minute handstand hold, 1 minute break. Then 2 sets of 10 tuck-ups, 10 straddles up, like this, open straddle, straddle. Then 10 straddle to tuck. Then 10 sevens. And then 10-second handstand hold again. And then come down. 2 sets. That is a 1.5 minute sets doing shapes. That was a warm-up. And it was every single day. And it still took me a hell of a long time to get 3 seconds of one-arm handstand that I lost because I stopped training for it. I should try one now. Now, if you now go and try to do that, even with the wall, your wrist will break. So because we require this amount of volume, especially for technical skills, also for strength skills, but especially for technical skills, that means that we need to adapt our body to that capacity. How do we adapt our body to that capacity? We lower the intensity of the exercise so we can build that capacity, keep increasing the amount of volume that we do and the intensity of that exercise in a very systematic way. Depends on your case, and depends on what you need most, and depends on the stage of your journey, and depends on other things that you're training, and depends on your sleep, and depends whether you believe in God or not. Not for real. I do believe in God. So you just don't go 0 to 100 in intensity only. You don't go 0 to 100 in volume, but you want to get the volume. So, number one, don't train for 1,000 skills at the same time, unless you're training for things that will potentiate that skill. Different story. Train with a progression that you can manage, that exposes yourself the closest to that position, specificity, and now we're going to transfer to the handstand finally, and build it up to such a way that eventually you can do 2 hours a day of one-arm handstand work, which I did for a whole 2 years, and it was my second session. I was training planche at the same time, and your wrist, my wrist, like rock solid. They got injured like fucking 5 times when I was training. Because I build the capacity slowly. Please warm up your wrist. But I do not warm up my wrist. And many of my coaches also do not warm up their wrist. Because warming up their wrist for them, it's a handstand. Because the handstand now becomes so easy, like for walking, you do not warm up standing because you just know how to stand. For running, you warm up walking, but like a kind of like easy pace. But if you're a sprinter, how much are you gonna walk before you actually start your warm-up of like running kind of fast? Very little, because you have sprinted so long that, I mean, yes, warming up is, but you do not wanna spend time on things that do not really move you forward the most. If you spend an hour warming up and you feel like that's gonna reduce injuries, which in a way it does, but you need to know if you really need it. Or better yet, train progressively enough with the right exercises so you know that you might not even need that much, and then you can spend more volume on the actual things that actually move you forward. That's another reason why people say don't train for skills until you have 50 fucking push-ups and 20 dips and whatnot. That's actually, I do believe in that in certain contexts, especially if we're talking to the masses. for various reasons that will go way beyond this. So I'm just going to mention one, which is if your body is able to do 50 push-ups, your wrists are conditioned to actually then do planches. I do believe you can do both at the same time. I did both at the same time, but with the right progression. And everything is so connected, especially in calisthenics, that what do people get injured the most? Wrist, elbows, shoulders, that's it, mainly, right? Especially wrist. When you're doing push-ups, don't think that you're just building muscle and building your chest. Think about you're actually conditioning your wrist. You're putting pressure on your wrist. So it's not only about building that muscle strength and whatnot, it's that you are spending time in your joint is spending time in a position that eventually is going to become heavier and heavier and heavier. Let's build the handstand from the ground up. How I will start training for the handstand? Honestly, if you have never done handstands before, literally this. Just getting used to this. Getting used to warming up. More like conditioning in a way. More like just teaching your body that, I mean, we call it warm-up because conditioning in our hand balancing system, we have a section warm-up and then a section conditioning at the end, and the exercise is the same, but the intention is different because here I am getting to a range that do not causes fatigue, that do not causes any strains, and that prepares me and prepares my CNS and my joints and everything to actually then get the handstand and have a productive handstand training. But then at the end, I might just go forward, hold it, and then press back, forward, and then press back, do less reps, get a little bit close to failure, and that will condition more the joints. So building the handstand, if you are advanced, just bear with me. If you're advanced and a coach, get this. Once you start having experiences with clients, then you realize how hard calisthenics actually is. And how easy it can be if you just actually do the things that we don't want to do. Spend enough time here, then spend enough time here. It's more weight on the hands. It's still not a handstand, my shoulders are closed. Then spend enough time here and we start now getting into the handstand shape. Then you elevate your legs. I'm gonna imagine like I have a box. And you have now more weight. This is a box, by the way. This is an imaginary box. And then now you have more weight. And then you lift one leg up. Now you have more weight. And then you lift the other leg up. And then you have more weight. And then you do a chest wall. Now imagine I have a wall. And then you do chest wall handstand holds. If your shoulders are closed, you do that while you're opening your shoulders with passive stretches and active stretches depending on your specific case. And the ratio on how many shoulder mobility exercises you do and how much handstand work you do will depend on how close your shoulders are. I will just say this. If your shoulders are up to like around here and you're missing that 1 inch, yes, get into your puppy pose. Yes, do whatever shoulder mobility thing. But just doing the handstand and having the intention of opening the shoulders during the handstand, you are killing 2 birds. I killed 2 birds. You're killing 2 birds with 1 gun. I don't like to kill birds. So make your training efficient by understanding your limitations, understanding the position. Now, don't go and wait for my book to be released and then read it before you start training. Actually, the first page of the book says, get up and move as you learn. But knowledge, it is power. That's why we have a tutorial section in the Academy on the app. Because understanding it logically will allow you to practice it better. That's why you have guides. That's why coaches will never go away. until we have AI robot coaches, but freaky future. Do not get into analysis paralysis either. And do not aim for the perfect handstand. Do not critique yourself so much. Hand balancers, if you're a hand balancer, you're a fucking crazy person. Because you're somebody that likes to stare at the fucking floor and likes to just spend hours just trying to get a simple position that you are inverted. And it's kind of neurotic in a way. Because if you're a real hand balancer, like if you're really into hand balancing, you're like analyzing every micro detail to try to understand it until you cross to what I call being a wise hand balancer. And then you understand that, yes, it's an art of expression. It's beautiful. But first of all, the more you stress about it, the less you're actually gonna get it. And second of all, that perfection never really exists. And you just start like enjoying your training, understanding the position, but not questioning the position. Again, anxiety, as it talks or speaks to you in questions. If you have doubt about your intuition, or if you are questioning too much, or if you are like overthinking it too much, if you're in a handstand, and then you watch the video, which you should, and analyze it, and you are like, why are my shoulders closed? Why are my elbows bent? That kind of like creates anxiety. Now, obviously, you would ask a question, but it will come in a different way. It will come in like, okay, I need to understand, or I will understand why my shoulders are closed. I'm gonna look for it, I'm gonna research it. Not but why is this happening? Because why is this happening will not lead you to actually finding the thing. So it's more about, oh, I'm noticing my arms are bent. I'm going to not question myself, but I'm gonna look for the answer. That's a statement. And you fix that, you watch videos, and you apply it. You work more than you learn, but you still learn. That's why the challenge that we're going to be releasing on Monday, 21 days, it is a combination of practice and theory. You're going to have days where you learn about, in a more systematic way than I'm doing right now, that you're going to be learning about the requirements of strength only in a handstand, in a 10-minute video, not in or a 15-minute video, not in a 2-hour. And the next day, you are going to be doing a practice. Let me go back to the beginning where we said that the handstand is both a very hard skill and a very easy skill. We just build the handstand in that way. And I also mentioned that we practice in different positions that kind of mimic the position itself or improve one of the attributes of that skill. It is a good idea. The best example is crow. Crow, your arms are freaking bent. Your shoulders are freaking close. So why is this a progression for handstand? If Gabo just told me that if I bend my arms enough, like I'm gonna get into bad habits and whatnot, how is that a progression for handstands? It is because you're practicing one very specific thing of a handstand. Many, but one specific, balance. You're learning how to balance in a lower center of mass. Do you only do crow? No, please don't do that. You do crow and then you do positions where your shoulders are open so you can actually build strength in that specific range. I'm gonna finish, I'm gonna finish with demonstrating what a perfect handstand it is. Then we're gonna reply just 3 questions. No, I'm gonna be talking about the bonuses while we do the Q&A. And that should be it. If you guys want anything, just start putting your questions right there. Well, not yet. I'll let you know. No, not yet. Let me just demonstrate the handstand. So to take something home so you get the technique of the handstand right. And that handstand applies to the pike, to the elevated pike, to everything that you do in a handstand. If you want a straight handstand, you might not. You might be okay with closed shoulders. You want to put the weight on your traps, right here. The moment that I do this, I start using more my front delt and my upper chest. And you might get stronger for the planche, the typical planche press, which is that. If you want that, that's okay. If you have closed shoulders and that's how your press looks, just keep doing that. But combine it with exercises that you can manage, like maybe like a planche lean, where you spend a little bit more time on the open shoulders. Combination of things. Everything in life, especially in movement, it is connected. If you want a pike press like this, you better spend time on your traps rather than your chest and front delts. I mean, both are active here. Now, look how my shoulders, if you can get closer, Fabian, are literally pushing super, super strong up. And that's how we get stuck. If I just depress a little bit my shoulders, like coming down, my body will have the tendency automatically to do this. Nothing wrong with that. This is an exercise, by the way. Imagine I have a wall. Just go here, open, then go forward, and open, and then move forward, and open. That teaches your body to open the shoulders. But all those exercises are going to be in the 21-day challenge. I'm going to be covering everything from arm balances, which is one of the exclusive bonuses that you get today. It's a complete ebook on crow, 8-angle pose, crane, what other ones do we have? Elephant trunk, and I think one more. And and the scorpion. The scorpion. The little logo. You're gonna get that ebook. We're not gonna release it to anybody else. That's part of the people that are here. But only if we are going to open right now a 20-minute window. Let me just go here so I can actually show the bonuses. So the part where Gabo sells. This is for me, it's not selling. This for me is one, giving to the people that has given me so much, even though when I didn't show up almost the entire year. I got a lot of messages yesterday on, Gabo, but why are you trying to do so much? Like, why are you doing 100 plus PDF training guides, interactive tools, workout creators? Where do I have the list? Core generator, mini application. Everything is going to be on one single page. You are going to get a... There are like 30 ebooks or so. There are like a visit guide PDF. There is a handstand push-up guide PDF. There is all our 15-minute routines PDFs. There is a complete guide on how to start calisthenics. There is a... That's like... Should we show them what they're gonna get? Or you have to be connected, right? Can we go to the mirror? Let's go. Because I really cannot remember. So, you guys are going to get First of all, this is a challenge. We're gonna be going 21 days learning a lot of things about handstands. From crow pose, from all the arm balances. The next day we're gonna be going into what I wanted to go today, which is the handstand house. I mean, how to build your handstand. The real details. Like today was the surface, and it's probably got you guys more confused than anything, unless you rewatch this. But we're gonna go specifically on really how to apply those things. So you're gonna get this. This is gonna be for you. We were not able to actually put it, I mean, it is live. I was able to put it live. But we wanna do some tweaking, so you're gonna get it via email in the following days. The reason why, again, I coded this thing. Don't ask me why. You are getting the old handstand program that we released in the past. It's a 6-week handstand program. The reason that I did it again, it's because it was a bit too confusing. This was our old platform, and it was a bit too much. And the reason that it was a bit too much, it's because we had members from different levels. Is the timer start or not? Not yet. Okay, good. We had for many levels, so I made one program where it has. This is a PDF for week 1. Just week 1 has. This is one routine. I think it has like 7 or 8 routines. You get 6 PDFs of this, which I can actually show you. This is the list of bonuses, by the way, one of them. So you get week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6. This was the introduction of that. So that program has $12 practices, 12 warm-ups, 3 essential mobilization and conditioning routines. It has 17 lectures and a bunch of other stuff. Mobility add-ons. It also has SMHB shapes and tips. It has like 22-minute video tips. You're gonna get access to that program that I remade it, and the reason that I remade it was because it was just too overwhelming for one person, and it didn't. I mean, obviously, I know way more now than I have 6 years ago, and now I know how to actually build it systematically. But you get that as a bonus. You get a 15-minute handstand pusher routine, 15-minute front lever routine. This handstand, if you follow us for long enough, you probably have this. So this is not even, and this is not the special bonuses, by the way. And you get, this is a How to Start Calisthenics complete ebook. You also get a start the timer? Okay, so the special bonuses. The special bonuses are going to be a unreleased program of the app that we're not going to release until way later, so you guys are going to have access before that. It's the phase number 4 of calisthenics foundation. Oh, I need to open this in the browser. And you're going to be able to see all the routines. It's a complete program on. I made this program exactly of what I actually did prior to start training for the planche. So you get the pull-up progressions, the handstand progressions. So you don't only get this you don't only get my training, but you also get this program. You are also going to get the Unbalances PDF. That's only if you sign up today. The Biomechanics Handstand ebook. Do we have this one here, Fabian? Nope. A complete breakdown on the entire biomechanics of the handstand. We have never released it, and we're just gonna give it to you. If you sign up, is it open? Okay, so the first things first. Not only are you gonna get the bonuses that we will never ever give again, but the normal price of the app, the yearly membership, it is $220, Fabian? $240. It is $240. On Black Friday, we're gonna bring it down to $180. And for you guys, if you sign up right now, Fabian, did you put the coupon? Did you add the coupon?
Yeah, the coupon is already
If you use this coupon and you check out, and let me be super serious. How many minutes do we have? Minutes? 18 minutes. In 18 minutes, we close the card, the coupon will not work, and you will not get it at 162. You will not get the bonuses that I'm gonna say. And I'm dead serious, these PDFs will not be for the rest of the people after this. It is closed, it is right now. If you get it, that's it. Yes, it is a marketing strategy. Yes, it is urgency, but it is a lot of work that I put into this, and it is for the people that really, really, really are here supporting us the most. I'm not bashing on the other people, but you guys are the real MVPs. It's closing in 15 minutes, so put the coupon right now. You're gonna get the Unbalances PDF. We're not gonna release that. You are going to get the biomechanics ebooks plus bonus lectures, actually. You are going to get the all handstand program. No, that one actually is not exclusive. You are going to get, what's the first thing? The program of CF4. That is literally, you're also gonna get all this, by the way. But if you sign up right now, you're gonna get that program, which is a complete program, complete program. Let me just show you a little bit of how the routines actually look. You're gonna get every single routine in a very specific page, in a bonus page, if you sign up right now. But the most important thing, I would say, I mean, it's the most valuable thing. Am I there? Yeah. You're going to get all my training logs sent to you via email. Not me, I wish. This is probably going to be around 500 to 1,000 pages at the very least, with all my reps and sets, with all my notes, and with a video of me explaining how to log your workouts and why I did, in a more condensed way. Everything. How I went from literally zero, because I had to restart my calisthenics journey. If you follow me long enough, you know that I literally lost everything, and I had to completely start from scratch. You're gonna see how I fixed my winged scapula. You're gonna see how I got my planche. You're gonna see how I was able to manage one-arm handstand, front lever planche, and all that. This is a treasure mine, and I'm giving it only to the people that are here. You get this. You get a, should I put it on the board? First of all, how many minutes do we have? 14 minutes. 40 minutes, we close the cart. The coupon will not work after 40 minutes. If you sign up right now, you're not going to pay 180, which is a Black Friday deal. You're going to be getting 162, which is 62% off. You're also going to get a complete handstand biomechanics ebook that we have never released. Extremely high quality, extremely in detail. It was done by me and a physiotherapist. You're also going to get, I like to change colors. You're also going to get the arm balances ebook. You're also going to get the Unreleased program of the Academy. By the way, if you're a member of the Academy, you already got all this. And if you are on a monthly plan and you want to upgrade, it's an amazing deal. By the way, if you join, this is your lock price until you cancel. And this is always, every single year, is the cheapest price that you can access. This will be the cheapest price that you can access forever, especially because then it's going to go to 180. This is going to be the cheapest price after. You're going to get into the cheapest price ever if you join right now. You're going to get a handstand biomechanics ebook that we will never, ever, the world will see again, sadly. You are going to get a complete arm balances ebook. You are going to get a Unreleased program CF4, which is a combination of hypertrophy, building muscle, and building the entire base for planche, front lever, and for the advanced skills. It's exactly, I mean, that's what I did, which is the biggest one, but it is, I made it with the exercises in the progressions and the tutorials that I did to actually get to where I am. We're gonna release that program on the SM Academy, on the app, later with videos and whatnot, but you're gonna get access, free early access if you join right now. So complete calisthenics program. And finally, you get my entire journey of 2 years, where I have to scan every single page. Where I already scanned one of those. It's a nightmare, but you're gonna get it super organized. Everything that I did, exactly what I did, not just I created a program based on what I did, which is this, still very useful, a lot of modifications, but that is exactly how Gabo got from zero, from a quadruped. I started with quadruped. I promise you can go to my Instagram if you don't believe me. And if you don't believe me, I don't know what's wrong with you, because I'm probably the most transparent fitness influencer in the freaking world. You are going to get the entire Gabo blueprint. Let's call it that way. I just made that up. Which includes, how many pages are there? I'm just gonna guess a number. 1,000 pages on exactly what I did. There are more than, how many weeks? 52 weeks, 3 years. Multiply by 3, 150, that is around 1,000, like 1,000 workouts. 1,000 workouts, programs, because I changed, obviously, and I switched. There is a front lever part, there is a handstand part, there is a planche part, there is a season where I only did handstand, there is a season where I only did, there is a season where I say I fuck up, and then I went back, so you're gonna be able to actually see those mistakes. There is probably like 500 programs in there. That is if you sign up right now. So we're gonna be answering some questions. Meanwhile, you guys use the coupon. Again, all that you see here will be gone in 10 minutes. You get locked into the cheapest price possible, unless you cancel. but it's a yearly plan. So for $162, 162, that is equal to $14? $14 a month. $14 a month. 14. You sure? I think this one is closest to 15. Oh, no. Yeah, this one is 15. This one is like $14 a month. Obviously, you pay upfront, so you can forget about it. So for $14 a month, which is $162 a year, you are getting a handstand ebook of biomechanics that will go away into the space after this. We have so much content that is like... You're going to get an Arm Balances ebook. You're going to get an unreleased program of the SM Academy before it actually comes out. You're going to get my entire blueprint on how I actually train for the past 3 years. And you also, obviously, you get access to other 100 plus guides, PDF, nutrition guides, interactive tools that we're also going to be releasing after this is done and after we open the Black Friday sale for the people that are not here. Now, if I were you, I don't know what you're thinking, but that's quite a lot. And I haven't slept, how much? I think I've slept 3 hours for the past month. Just trying to build this for you guys, because I did feel like I owe you my absence this year for not being present with you and for not giving as much value as I normally do, even though I did, but not to the standards and to the level that I feel in my heart to do. I just have so much to give that I feel the need to give it. I'm not giving you 1,000 PDFs because I don't have 2 more people helping me. Not because we don't have the content or because we don't have the knowledge. This is as far as much as we could possibly do. And this is, I really thought, what can really help them out? And nothing really came close to just locking you into the best price of the Academy, which you will get access to this, plus the unreleased, the soon to be released, hand balancing system, the 21-day challenge that is going to begin, that is the sun, plus we're going to be releasing every single phase as we go, because we're doing our very best with this. It is a 12-phase program. It takes you from 0 to 1 handstand. And I'm giving away all my secrets, my entire secrets, all to you, because you are here. Because you show up, showing up is what really, really matters in life. I woke up today 2 hours ago because I went to bed at 6 a.m. trying to put all this together. And I don't want to sound like a victim. I just want to say thank you for showing up. Because if it wasn't for you, I just wouldn't be doing this. Like, I just wouldn't, because nobody would receive it or benefit from it. But the love that we have gotten since we have 1 member here on YouTube, till now that we're 1.2 million, and you guys are still here even though we haven't posted in 6 months, because we just try to do our best to manage the entire company with me and Fabian. And other things happen that I'll share on the private community if you join on the app. this is the least that I can do for you guys. And I really, really hope that I can see you all inside the Academy, inside the SM app. We did some upgrades, if you are a member of the app. We improved the navigation. Now you can actually navigate through the programs in the website version. You also, on the app, we are incorporating a dynamic calendar, so not just PDFs, so you can actually go there. We're incorporating custom programs. We are incorporating a little Gabo chatbot that is going to be able to answer your questions, but that is not going to replace the fact that I am going to also be in the community, because we have a private community, and I didn't do it that much this year, which I apologize, but I am going to be there with my team, replying to your questions directly, so you have direct support from us. You have on the Academy, how many programs do we have? We have yoga, calisthenics, hand balancing. We have an insane amount of routines. And I will say this, in the past, and the reason why all this happened this year is because I didn't pay attention to the foundation of the company, the numbers, the things. I was always a creative mind. And when Yasir left, I love Yasir, by the way. It was not a Hollywood fucking movie. No. We had our reasons. But that forced me to learn finances, coding, operations, and things that I just couldn't have the bandwidth to create more. And it pulled me away from that. But in that period, I developed a system that allowed me to create this in a week. The system was created in 5 months, but this was created in a week, which means that the programs in the SM Academy are going to be released now faster. Programs are going to be released way faster. And by the way, one of the bonuses, it's part of the system if you're a fitness entrepreneur. And you also get a writing hub, so you can write and log your workouts. There's an insane amount of things that you're gonna get if you sign up right now. Look into that price, and you don't only get all these and the hand balancing system and the challenge, but you also get everything that comes after that. You guys got 2 minutes. This is your last chance. After this, I'm throwing this away. I'm putting it on my drawer, but you are going to be the only ones who are going to have access to this. After you join, you're going to receive an email tomorrow with part of the bonuses, part of the PDFs. The next day, also part of the PDFs. The reason why we cannot send them all right now is because we're doing it all by ourselves. That's the truth reality. And because tomorrow, me and Fabian are going to be editing a lot of videos for you guys, which is going to be the hand balancing system and other stuff that we have planned. If you get locked into this price, you get access to the app, to the website version, and to everything that comes with later on Saturno Movement, which is a bigger vision that I'm going to say right now. You are going to have access to a complete digital workstation where you're going to be able to design your own workouts by dragging and dropping, with custom filters, with agents behind, a handstand agent that can help you with all my knowledge, a calisthenics agent that can help you with all your knowledge, recommendations based on your energy levels. If you're too stressed out, it's going to give you a recommendation, it's going to lower you down. You're going to learn, or the platform is going to teach you how to combine yoga, calisthenics, hand balancing, freestyling, everything. Everything, all my knowledge, is going to be put into a platform that is going to know how you should train. And you join right now. 3. We're done, guys. Thank you so much for all of you who joined. If you're still wants to join the Black Friday deal, we just opened now. This is gone. This is gone. You can still access. It's still an amazing deal. $180 you get locked into that price, and you get 100 plus PDF ebooks, guides, and more stuff that you will be able to actually study in a whole year. That was a sell, but I am not going to stop the live on the sell. So any Q&As, let me just give more to you guys. What do you guys want to know? What do they want to learn? Or they are just busy putting the coupon? Or they are just super overwhelmed of all the fucking shit that I'm actually giving for free? As you pay, you're gonna get access already directly to the app and to the website version. We'll send you the link to, it's gonna be a dashboard. You also get access to all my music that we have produced, especially the new music that we produce, all in a single dashboard page for you to have, where you have all the PDFs in one single place, all the bonuses on one single place, everything on one single place, plus the app, plus the website, plus everything that is gonna come, because yes, this was the hardest year of our life, but the lower you go and the harder life hits you, the higher you go afterwards, provided you pay attention to the lessons, provided you own your own mistakes, and provided that you understand that the only way to fail is failing to actually learn. I know you guys are, you are the backbone of Saturno Movement. You are making this happen. One of the reasons of the collapse is we build a company that should be run by 20 people, and it's being run by 2. But this year was a year where we created the systems that is going to allow us, for me and Fabian, to go to the Bahamas. Because we're going to be producing content so fast. And you're gonna see it in the community, you're going to see it on the app, you're going to see it in my energy, because I'm going to be able to sleep. Because I realized that was the only way for me to fulfill the mission that I want, which is giving you my brain, pretty much, and all my years of experience and all the knowledge that I have. And I am a human, and it's pretty much almost humanly impossible, the vision that I have, to do it without proper systems. Those systems are developed. Thank you, technology, for making that happen. And I give you my word, and I promise you that what you thought Saturno Movement was, it is not even close to what it's going to get. And this is not Gabo super overly optimistic and delusional, whatnot. This is Gabo knowing and seeing clearly with a plan how we're going to make this happen, and how it's already happening, and how you're going to see it on the hand balancing system. How me and Fabian were able to do this in a month, a handstand program, a full campaign, posting on Instagram. He's the only editor, and he runs the company. He replies to all your emails. We don't use AI for your emails. We don't use any of that. Until now. On AI, I will never stop showing up here. I will never be giving my replies to your comments to a bot. And if I do, it's minimal replies, but I'm also there replying myself, because it is what I love, and it is what fills me the most. And I believe that it doesn't matter how advanced AI gets, and trust me, I know a lot about AI, it will never, ever, ever change the human connection that we're going to have. I really want you all inside the community, inside the app, and explore this journey with us. and get more value than, and I hate to compare, but just one of our programs, and we have like 30 programs, one of our programs are beyond industry standards of standalone programs. Every program has more than 10 PDFs, customization of the exercises, customization of the routine, and you get that, all that for $14 a month if you didn't put the coupon, $15 a month, still an amazing deal. And that's it. Any questions that I should answer?
You can read through it, maybe interact with them.
Yeah, I hate to talk to the camera and actually not being here. Thank you for all you're doing. I think it's completely natural to take pauses from time to time. Long life Saturno Movement team. Thank you so much, Alex. I wish it was a pause. The pause is coming right now, but because we build the infrastructure to give you enough content, so me and Fabian can take at least 2 weeks to recharge, because we have been nonstop. And let me say that I'm just grateful because you guys are still here. Let me just say thank you to Fabian for being here.
My pleasure, brother.
And thank you to everybody who has supported me and being with me and still showing up despite me being absolutely collapsed. Grateful to you guys, grateful to the body and the mind that allows me to be able to survive the storm that happened, that I will share in more detail in the community, not here on YouTube. And grateful for the infinite amount of lessons that I got, that Fabian got, because that's gonna allow us, first of all, to be as strong motherfuckers. Because what we went through, it is beyond what we can. We have everything filmed. Hopefully we make a video about it. And all those lessons are gonna be integrated into us being stronger, being better humans, being better teachers, and creating, it forced us to create better systems. It forced us to create a infrastructure. Why did we stop? Why did we collapse? Because I just focused on creation. The foundation, the numbers, the taxes, IRS, the operations. I didn't know how to open Notion. I didn't know how to do a line of coding. Finances, I never put that much attention into finances, and that is on me. I said it from the very beginning. You can watch the Fitness Fact podcast. Everything that happens in Saturno Movement, it is my fault. Everything that happens in my life, it is my fault and my responsibility. And I am extremely grateful that it happened the way it had to happen, because now I know the pieces to create the strong foundation to really make Saturno Movement Vision a reality, which was always has been designing your own workouts, giving you the tools so you can train how you need to train for your own specific goals in a very specific period of your life, which is already hard to teach to one person. We created the system to teach it to millions of people, and I want you guys to be a part of that, and I just want to say thank you for that. And that was not even a question, but you got me emotional, motherfucker. Do you have any videos on info on working out shoulder pain? I've been struggling some in my right hand for a year almost. Just look Scapula, Gabo, Saturno, or Saturno movement, and you'll find many exercises. But again, especially when it comes to the shoulder, I mean, I dislocated both 40 plus times. I just couldn't even hang with one arm. It would dislocate doing pull-ups. And I'm gonna make another YouTube video on my story on that. But if you really, really, really want to improve your shoulder stability, I have to say it, but join the academy. We're gonna be releasing a Scapula program, and I'm gonna be there. You can, in the community, you can share your own specific situation, because people are like, oh, my shoulders are fucked up, or my scapula is swinging, let's do scapula push-ups. Yeah, bro. I did that for a year. It didn't work. It didn't work. Because it is not, and this applies to life, it is not what we do, it is how we do it and why we do it in a very specific moment in time. Right now, I'm not doing scapula exercises. And I did thousands of them to be able to get a planche where my scapula wouldn't win. I don't do them now. I'm gonna teach you that, but I cannot teach that in a Q&A without knowing your condition. I can teach you that if you get inside the community and if you watch all the videos on the academy that actually explain that in detail. But my best advice for you when it comes to scapula, if you can take something right now, is do the basics, literally, dips, push-ups, rows, any pike push-ups or handstand push-ups, or any variation of these, and whatever the ones I missed, with emphasis on proper scapula position, proper shoulder position. The scapula is don't quote me on this, but the scapula is the joint. The scapula is the shoulder. Not really. The scapula is a floating joint, and the shoulder is a different joint. But the scapula-thoracic joint is so connected to the shoulder. Everything is connected, but it is so connected that some people are like, I have winged scapula. I shouldn't be doing external rotation. Maybe not, maybe yes, depends. But it probably will help. Or I have shoulder issue. And I tell them, yo, work on your scapula. No, it's not my scapula. Motherfucker, it is your scapula. Or it may be not even your scapula, it may be your thoracic spine. It may be your neck. Everything is so connected, but just back to your shoulder. If you really want to improve that, see everything as an integrated system, because we are an integrated system, not only within ourselves, but within the space that we live in and the space around us. Getting philosophical here. And don't just do a push-up. Don't just train. Focus. We talk about neural drive. You know how you improve quickly that technique, that activation, that learning process? By being fucking present doing the movements. Not by overanalyzing it, but by being present. And by having the knowledge to be present with that knowledge, because I was present before while I was doing push-up, but I was always like, I just wouldn't move my scapula. I would just do this. And that is nothing wrong. That is nothing wrong. But for somebody that had winging scapula that is hypermobile, or for us normal human beings, most of us, literally most of us, 99.9999% of people, there are very few people that have a planche, and it's for a reason. It is hard, yes, but it's because they don't train the way they should train. You retract. You move with intention. You feel every joint. You are there in the present moment. Push-ups are not to build your chest. Push-ups condition your wrists, your elbows, your coordination. And that's why you should get 50 push-ups before the planche. It's not because of the muscles, and yeah, you're gonna be muscle and whatnot, but it's like, if you cannot do a push-up properly with good form, and then you expect to have a little clean planche, that's not going to happen. You need practice and repetition in a very, very mindful way as you do the exercise. Take that home, all that. That's how I speak in the SM Academy. That's how I speak in the app, because that is the only way that we can progress. Fuck all these fucking generic programs. Yes, we're gonna be building this platform with AI that is gonna be able to understand you based on your stress level. You should train this or that and how to combine it. But we're gonna have coaches there, and they're gonna be trained so well, the chatbots or whatever, that because I'm gonna create the formulas myself, that it's gonna give you some guidance, but you still need to put in the work. I don't know if I can give more than what I'm giving in terms of knowledge, but knowledge is power, but clarity really comes from action. And that is why we have practices, we have tutorials, we have a community, so it's individual to you. It's all, if you really want to get good at calisthenics, if you just want to just fucking do a push-up and that's it and build some muscle, okay, good luck. But if you want to be one of those, if you want to be the next calisthenics legend, if you want to, especially if you want to be a coach, don't just see training as training. It is not just training. There is somebody, what is the joke? Bro, it's not that deep. It is deep. It is movement. You move before you speak. Movement is our first language. It's a way of, it's what keeps us, at least I'm just gonna speak for myself. And if somebody here doesn't like movement, I don't know. But it makes me a better human being. It makes me kinder. It makes me more compassionate. It makes me better human being in general to deal with life. It improves my relationships. It improves my sleep. It improves absolutely every single aspect of my life. And that is calisthenics, yoga, football, freaking ballet. I actually want my daughter to do ballet, but I will never enforce that because we need to move in a way that we want to move, and that is the law, the sign of the SM app. It is move in a way that you want to move. How do you want to move? That is the first question that we always ask. That is why we have so many disciplines. That's why we're gonna have more coaches, because fuck, I need a break. In the app, there is more than 500 hours of content, and it's not about the content, guys. It's about who you become and how your life changes. It is not just the knowledge, and all this allows you to practice better, but I don't want to sell you the knowledge, and that's why on the videos I don't talk so much about the how, but I talk about the why, and you saw it today in today's masterclass. It is the why you do things that actually gets you there. If you don't have a strong why, you will quit. Trust me, you will quit. And I would invite you all, and I would love you all to, whether you join the academy or not, to see movement and to see every aspect of your life as that. As I am not, and we're in Black Friday week, you're probably gonna buy all their fucking shit. When you buy that, think about not what the product that you're getting, but how is that gonna make you a better person? I used to be really scared of selling. Right now I'm not. Why? Because I know that changes you. I know that improves you. I believe in my product. And I want you guys not to believe in my product or in whatever you buy. I want you guys to believe in yourself and to see that all the tools that we have around, technology, an app, knowledge, a book, they are just tools to be used so we can improve as human beings. That's all there is. Next question. When pursuing a straight handstand, yeah, let me get less philosophical on this one, because apparently. When pursuing a straight handstand, should we super focus on shoulder external rotation or more on neutral position is key? I have a hard time opening my shoulders fully. Okay. External rotation, for those that you don't know, is in a handstand, is this. So imagine your armpits doing this position. Now, do you want to externally rotate? Yes. That is the goal. There is a difference between a goal and your capacity to do that. There are some things in training that we can improve by saying, hey, externally rotate the shoulders. And the person will go, oh. And there are other things that will be improved by the same, but externally rotate the shoulders. And they don't move. They will learn, you will learn, or your central nervous system will learn how to trigger the shoulders, and the range will be open to create external rotation on the shoulders by repetition alone. Some things can be fixed in a session. Some things cannot be fixed in a session. But here is the most important part. Even if it cannot be fixed in a session, you put the emphasis there. Because if you don't, you're always going to be internally rotating the shoulders. Now, what is good or what is bad? It is harder to open the shoulders with external rotation. So even if you have a lot of external rotation, I do. I mean, I have way more internal, but even if you have a lot of external rotation, you press up, this is as far as I can go. If I internally rotate, this is as far as I can go. So, sometimes, I think I got this from a night debate with him, Fitness Facts. My brother, Daniel Bagnell. He did a video and he recommended internal rotation on the handstand. And I talked to him and we talked, and the reason for him to say that, he was right, in a sense that you have more range. And he's a freaking 6'4" tall dude with super close shoulders, an amazing front lever, like super strong, like completely different side of me. He cannot externally rotate, so to get the straight handstand. So he would internally rotate. Movement is not black and white so much in those little details. Some of them really matter, but to just answer to your question, external rotation from all the professional hand balancers that I've talked to, it is a more stable position. It's harder to open the shoulders, yes, but if you can open the shoulders with external rotation, it is a more stable position. You will feel like a torque that locks you in place as you are in your handstand. That will allow you to be more stable, especially as you go into one-arm handstand. How do you practice external rotation? I mean, if you cannot even do this, like I would just, like here, like I would just do some rotation, some accessory exercises. That's a topic for another time, which is included in the 21-day challenge. But it's better that you just do a progression of a handstand, or whatever position you want to externally rotate the shoulders. In a planche, it is actually very important, where you can actually externally rotate the shoulders. Because if I try to do right now a full planche on the floor, I might get it, but I'm probably going to internally rotate it slightly. But if I do a straddle planche on the parallels, which I'm very useful, I'm going to be able to externally rotate. So do we only do that? No. No. I hope you guys are getting me. We do that and we do that. And if the condition is very severe, like my scapula was and my shoulder was, you do invest time on external rotation exercises and scapula stability exercises until you will realize that then you don't do it. It's a combination of proper exercises specific to the goal, proper strength and muscle building exercises that complement that goal, unless it's just a handstand, and accessory little things, weight races, and all these little things that we share that I do believe that it's included at the end of every single program as an optional block for a reason. Because not everybody needs it. Not everybody needs that. But most people need it. Why? Because they have never fucking done it in their life and they think that a planche is easy and they fucking just go for straddle planche attempts. Thank you for the support, Raul. Means a lot. We got you. I tried the code. Okay, if you guys had any problems with this sign in, send us an email with the screenshot right now. Better be a better fucking excuse. I will read the email myself, not Fabi. And if you had a problem, I'll be happy to send those duties to you. Don't fucking use AI and fucking screenshot this now and like, don't try to trick us, don't try to trick us. But, I mean, I would love you guys to just get all those bonuses. You're still gonna get a lot of them if you sign up later, but would love that. Kylo OMs says, who cares? You care because you type. Strength is how much you can lift in relationship to your body weight. That is relative strength. That is one of the strengths that we have. It's only me or your voice is deeper than before? I'm a bit sick. I actually read it up. I think I actually have a high pitch right now, but I woke up a little bit sick. Programming is tough. It is, and it is not. If you simply understand the principles and understand one thing, programming, it's more of an art than it is a science. Bodybuilding, which is probably where the most amount of studies has been done. You have people doing 2 to 3 hard sets a week on a muscle group and making insane amount of progress. And then a study comes up that 52 sets builds more muscle or is superior. More stories have come up, so don't quote me on this. That is just to say the discrepancy between 2 and 52 sets, and they have found that there is still not an upper limit. That tells you something. We use science as reference. And we're talking about bodybuilding. Talk about calisthenics now. Hopefully, we can build our own lab one day and actually make studies. But that's still, every study, science, it is never going to be 100% accurate. It is a guide. It is a compass. It is not a freaking GPS that you just go in there. Because you are different than me. We're so freaking different. We're all so different than that you cannot just follow a program and that's it. It is an art. When a client comes to me and says, I mean, I'm pretty confident on my programming abilities, but when he say, is this exercise really going to work? I'm like, I'm pretty confident, but let's test it. And then he says, and is there a better exercise? I mean, when it comes to the basics, it's pretty obvious for me. But let's say we're training like middle split or flexibility. Should I do isometrics, or should I do negative, or should I do you, as a coach, as a good coach, you do your best guess. And that sounds like, holy shit, if I go to a fucking doctor and the doctor tell me, I'm gonna do my best guess in cutting your heart, holy shit. But it is what it is. A doctor is doing his best guess. He's a skill at it, but he's doing his best guess. Back to coaching, us as coaches, good coaches, we do have systems, we do have experience, we do have trained a lot of people to know what works and what doesn't for the majority of people. But for a coach to tell you, this is the way, this is my method, there is no way that there is something better than this. And if they say that to the masses, to a program, they lose my respect. But even one-to-one, I say, that's my best guess, let's test it. It usually works. But could have one set be better? Fuck, I don't know. Did you just leave one more hour? Did you do the set better? Is tuck plunge on the floor better than on the parallels? It's better that I do 1 month on the floor and 1 month on the parallels. It's like, I do know this. I know, I have enough experience to see what works for most people, but maybe sometimes both things work. And you only know by actually doing the thing and not entering into paralysis. Programming is hard. Yes. Do not fall into the trap of finding that perfect programming before you start. And I'm talking that I am a perfectionist myself. And it's a problem. But I have found, Hampton is, no, I don't know if he's still here. But if Hampton is still here, I reached out to him before Black Friday, and I was like, dude, I need help. I have 30 days, and I just don't know how I'm gonna manage the entire company. Like, I just have no idea. And he told me one word: incremental. You do things little by little, and you build that momentum that then spirals up into doing great things. Simplicity is the key to brilliance, and there are simplifiers and optimizers. Fabian is a simplifier. I'm a fucking optimizer, sometimes way too much. And I don't think there is wrong in any of them. I do believe optimization is actually simplicity. How do you get something so optimal? By being simple enough that it becomes the best version. Optimization is making something the best that it can be. So you make things simple enough, and you remove the things that do not fit that you're trying to build, and that creates the optimization. That is programming too. So programming, it's not about how complex it is. It's about seeing that it is complicated, but if you just piece the simple things together, we just talk about them, incremental, then you get to your results. Incremental in the way that you approach the positions. Incremental in the way that you add more exercises. Incremental in the way that you ingest information to then apply it. incremental in the way that you don't do a plunge and you try to focus on your legs and your limbs and your legs and your limbs and your scapula and your elbows are straight and am I looking down and am I looking up, because what is that? You focus on one or two cues. That's also a good coach that will tell you that. When a client sends me a video and I see like 25 things to fix, I used to be the guy who would say the 25 things. Now I just say 2. That does 2 things. 1, he actually does the 2 things, because 25 things cannot happen. Number 2, he actually improves because he's doing the things. And I lost the third one. The third one. And if you are with a good coach, he will tell you the 2 things that improve at least some of the other 25 things. Prioritization, like prioritizing things. Let's say you have 25 things to fix on your handstand and you might be freaking frustrated because it's like, holy shit, how the fuck do I think about my wrists and my elbows and my shoulders open and my elevation, and I need to not extend too much my neck and my legs and pointing the feet and my legs needs to be together and my knees needs to be straight. You focus on the things that improves the other things the most, and then you focus on the other things. So in a handstand, there are some times to focus on your legs. But as a beginner, just focus on the real thing. Focus on your hands. Focus on your shoulders. Because if the position of your shoulders is strong enough, trust me, you're going to do whatever the fuck you want with your legs. You will stay up. If you do enough reps. A lot of them. Many of them. I already have a subscription, trying to pay for a year upfront. However, system is not allowing, saying I already have a subscription. Yeah, that's a problem that I tried to fix, but we couldn't. Yes, anybody that had any problem joining and using the coupon, please send us an email and I'll revisit the email to make sure that you need to send me a screenshot that you were here on the 20 minutes. Or that you try on the 20 minutes. No, I'll trust you, I guess. I'll trust you because I do want to give you value. And if you were here long enough, especially if you're here right now, that means that you support me. That doesn't mean that right now the coupon doesn't work, so. But if you had any problems or have any reasons that you want to get the extra millions of bonuses that we're giving to you, just send us an email and we'll take care of you. Yeah, many people are having problems. I tried the code, the members. Yeah, all of you. Yeah, everybody that had problems or that couldn't join and get the bonuses and want to get the 162 price instead of 180 and want to get the Handstand Biomechanics, the Unbalanced ebook, the CF4 Calisthenics program, my entire notebooks. Guys, do this. Do this. Log your workouts. My entire notebooks in a single place, all my new music that is unreleased, and everything that comes in the Design Academy, and getting looking at $162 a month. Send us an email and we'll do our best to take care of you. Guys, I love you guys so much. Thank you all so much for being here. And when are we posting on YouTube again? Thank you. Just thank you for being here. Apologies for the delay on the live. And I cannot wait to show you everything that we have prepared. I cannot wait for you guys to check all your bonuses and to practice handstands with me with the hand balancing system as well, and everything that is coming after that. And with that being said, guys, as usual, I even forgot how I used to say bye on YouTube. Like, subscribe. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, share with somebody that needs this. And as usual, I will see you guys on the next one. What's up, family? I told you. Cheat code of life. 3. Give. Show up. Laugh the crap out about it. Even and especially when you don't want to laugh about it.